Welcome to Backyard Family Fun, the podcast from Pride Pool Spas and Leisure Products. In Claxton and Savannah, Georgia, this family-owned business has spent decades helping create memories that last a lifetime. Whether you're a pool owner, a spa lover, or just looking to turn your outdoor space into a true retreat, we've got you covered right here on the Backyard Family Fun podcast. Welcome to Backyard Family Fun, brought to you by Pride Pool Spas and Leisure Products. I'm Dee Daniels, sitting in the Claxton location of Pride Pools. Happy to be back for another great season, talking about your backyard family fun and everything that is involved in that. Pools, spas, and of course, leisure products. Once again, Alex Smith is here to help us with all that. Alex, good to see you in 2026.
Man, it's great to be back, Dee.
Yeah, it's going to be a good year and
Absolutely.
A great season. We got so much cool stuff to talk about. And this particular episode, we're really going to be doing a bit of a deep dive into some real eco-friendly backyard living and some things that you could be doing maybe different this year, and just some great accessories you could have, and really going to dive into that. One of the things that we love to mention, Alex, as folks walk into the Claxton location or the Savannah location, really you can just about find anything you want for your outdoor living space.
Yeah, absolutely. You can. And, you know, when it comes to the outdoor side of, we have the mailbox wraps. That's very, I guess, seasonal friendly, because we got something for every occasion. You got the outdoor flags that you can put in your yard. The mailbox wraps they're so cool because, you know, I just changed mine out, but we have all that outdoor living that you can possibly imagine when it comes to accessorizing your backyard. If you do have a hot tub, we do have all type of accessories with that. We have the little table that you can kind of pivot around, and while you're sitting in the hot tub on that special occasion, you can put whatever up there. You know, I was in mine the other day, and I realized to myself that I'm actually in the spa to relax. Mm-hmm. But then I kind of looked around when I was in the spa and looking for my phone.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
What do I do with that?
Why am I looking for my phone when I should be relaxing? Mm-hmm. So you lose yourself for about 20, 30 minutes, and that's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
And if you have your partner in there, anybody that wants to be in the spa with you, it's the same way. Now, you can talk about your day, or talk about what's coming up for tomorrow, but it's a relaxing conversation. It's not about work. You do not want to talk about that, because who wants stresses and gets you tense up? We don't want none of that.
No.
So that little table that we have that you can kind of pivot around, you can put your favorite beverage up there. You can put like a little fruit snack. Mm-hmm. You can put all kind of different things on that little table, and you don't have to get out, and so you can put all your accessories right there. And it's a neat thing, because when you come in, we have steps, we have stairs to get in and out of the spa. Mm-hmm. But you got to have the place to put your towel and your robe.
Yeah,
your robe.
Love the towel rack.
You got to have a towel rack.
Love the towel rack.
That makes it really convenient when it's cold outside. Mm-hmm. You don't. Most people have their spa sometimes in a patio or a porch, but it's cool outside. And so when you do stand up, you want to be able to wrap up and put your robe on or towel. But you want to have it close by, and whatever accessories you have. So you just want to be, comfortable. And when you're in there relaxing, you just forget about any and everything in your life for about 20, 30 minutes. And you'll be amazed how that helps. And it just really relaxes and melts all the stress away.
Yeah.
And so I'm ready to get in mine when I get home tonight.
That we're talking about it, for sure. I fully agree. Since we were talking about, kind of more eco-friendly lifestyle, one of those things I think people are really now looking at the materials that are used. For instance, you were talking about like the steps to your spa. Maybe you've got to put some steps in, depending on where your hot tub is located and placed, maybe you need some steps around that, which is always a
Sure.
great idea. But the material that like those are made out of, almost like a recycled type material,
That's
right?
correct. Absolutely. So a lot of that, it's a resin, a hard plastic. The company that we use, a lot of that's recycled, and so it's a plastic that's reused, and it's a very durable. Matter of fact, it's called a DuraStep, and it's very durable. So that's a recycled product that we use, and a lot of the other things that come with the spa as well is like that as well. The table, the same company who makes the steps is also recycled as well.
Right.
And, the spa also has, and this is nothing really new, but LED lighting in the
Oh,
spa.
yeah.
So those lights that you see perimeter and the light, if they're little sconces on the outside of the spa on the corners or perimeter inside or even in the footwell on the bottom, those were LED. And low voltage LED and very, very, very economical. Doesn't pull any energy at all. So that's very eco-friendly
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So we have a lot of different things that you can, while you're sitting in the spa, that you would be amazed at what's eco-friendly and very economical.
Yeah, well, and two, I feel like, the way you're describing like the LED lights and also the materials that the steps are made out of and the table for your spa, that to me, that says that they're going to last a lot longer than what they used to.
They do. Yeah. So the durability of all that material is made up of, when it's recycled like that, the material they put in there actually is a lot more stronger. It has more strength to it. So when you get out of the step, when you get out of the spa and you step on the step, you'll find that some have a lot of rigidity, and the steps that we have that come with our Bullfrog brand, very, very durable. So we have 3 different types of good, better, best. We always like to have choice for our customer. And every one of the steps, when you're stepping on something, you don't want, it's wet. Your feet are wet probably. You don't want to be slipping.
Right.
So we have, so these steps are made of that kind of material where it's a non-skid, and it's, like I said, it's, you say to yourself, do you pay more for that kind of stuff? Absolutely. With this, you do not. We're able to, a lot of times, anything green or eco-friendly, some people say, well, it just costs more.
Right.
Well, no, it really does not. So we always buy in volume, and when we do stuff like that, and we buy direct. So everything we buy is from the manufacturer. So we're able to, keep costs down and freight down and everything else, so we can pass those savings to the customer.
Absolutely.
But it's very, very eco-friendly. All the material we try to use, of course, USA made. We try to keep that in mind. But the recycled and the durability of that material is to me is stronger than most any other type of material.
Absolutely. And I was thinking too that that's going to hold up in weather,
It will,
which is great.
It is. So it's cold weather we've been having. I haven't heard. We haven't had any issues with all that cold weather we've had. So nothing that I know of has failed out there. But the cover mate, the thing that takes the cover off and on the spa.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's kind of difficult for, if you're by yourself and your partner could not get in there with you and you want to take the cover off and on, sometimes it depends on the size of the spa, that cover could be a little cumbersome.
Yeah.
And we make it where it's not. And we have this, it's called a cover mate, and the company who makes the steps also make the cover mate. And you just take one hand, and it's a little contraption that you just pull it back, and you can do it with one hand. Anybody can do this, and it makes it so much easier to take it off and on.
Which is nice because,
yes.
it's not all the time when, your significant other wants to get in the same time you do. And,
That's right.
So if you're out there by yourself,
Yeah,
that used to be really difficult to do with the the cover on the spa.
That is absolutely correct. My wife, she got to the point where she would pull the cover back, but only leave it halfway open.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you enjoy the rest of the spa?
That's
you got
right.
3 more seats over there with jets.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we made it a lot easier to take it off and on.
It makes a world of difference for sure.
It does.
So we're talking about, just some eco-friendly things you might want to do this year and accessories and things you might, not just for your spa, but we're going to talk about pools as well. It's interesting when I think of the phrase eco-friendly, I think of going green, being greener in your lifestyle. But when it comes to the pool, you don't always want your pool to be green, right?
No,
So, I
that's
mean, you don't want
point.
that necessarily. But there are some things you can do. There are some things you can absolutely do to kind of have the green lifestyle.
Correct.
Not the green color, but the green
Right.
lifestyle. Let's talk a little bit about cleaners, because there are some really eco-friendly ways to really
Yes.
clean and maintain.
Absolutely. The the automatic cleaners that we have, I look at them as eco-friendly because they're just, they just get simpler and easier to maintain. And what I mean by that is, I mean, everything is just about like rechargeable.
Yeah.
And, you don't have to, plug it into a receptacle. So now you pull in energy there. But we have these cleaners that you just plug them in and they'll charge, and they'll stay charged for a couple 2-3 hours. And that's enough to clean your pool 2 or 3 times and without having to recharge it. So, and these things are, you heard of, smartphone. These cleaners I think, are smarter sometimes because when we put it in there and it needs to be recharged, it's like it comes back to you. And it's like, I need more fuel, I need more energy, I need more battery charge. So, and it really does. It kind of surprised me the last time that I put it in the pool, and when it got through cleaning, it came up to the steps and it kind of parked right there, and it's like, oh wow, I didn't really need to lean over and grab it or put the contraption on the end of the pole to hook it to get it out. It kind of just parked itself up on the steps, and that was just too easy.
Right.
It's like, how did it know that?
I know. Yeah.
Is it AI? Is there AI in that thing?
What
or
is
something?
happening in there? I know.
It's like, so it makes you think about the simplicity, but it's very smart technology is what they put into these cleaners. So there's a lot more. We got the robotic cleaner with the cord, and we got the pressure side cleaner, and they're all great cleaners. But they took it to another step of a cordless. So the cordless cleaners are really kind of the trend, is what's going with cleaners today, and it's just again, eco-friendly, greener. Not green water.
That's right.
Greener.
That's right.
And it just seems to save energy, time, and money. So everybody wants to do that. And it really, when they come out with these cleaners way back, when I say way back, it's, someone always had a better mousetrap, and we talked about R&D, on our a couple of sessions way back, and we do our own R&D for the most part. Most people that work here in Claxton and Savannah, they've been here for a long time, and either they have a pool or a spa. So manufacturers will send us product, and say, I'll send you a demo, a demonstration, a demo. I'll send you a demo, and then we'll see how it goes from there. I says, well, I'm gonna need 2. So one Claxton, one Savannah.
That's right.
And somebody there in each location will either take it home with them, or I'll take it home, or Marshall will take it home.
Yeah.
One of us would take it home and put it through the test. And, and putting it through the test is literally act like I don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
We try to go through our R&D of, we've never owned a pool, but I think we just throw it in. So we just throw it in the pool and see if it comes on, see if it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes they don't. So over the years, I've kind of generated a graveyard of cleaners.
Oh, I bet.
And but by doing that, we have found the best cleaners on the market.
Yeah, you know what stands out.
We do.
Yeah,
we know what works and what's effective and what's best for our customers. And, cleaners, I've talked about these in the past, and, you can maybe spend less money and buy it on the internet. I'm going to just get it out there and be honest about it. However, you're not going to get the warranty, and you're not going to get the quality.
Yeah.
And like I said, we put our cleaners to the test, and we'll leave it on the deck, and the dog will come up there and chew on it some, and the kids they try to ride it like a toy.
Yeah.
The kids will. And
you got to kick it around and see what it does.
Yeah, and then we'll accidentally hit it and kick it, and the lawnmower run over it, and Oh, well, it still works. So we found out, we may have it as a good cleaner. It works. It holds up throughout R&D. So that's the real life R&D,
That's right. I was going to say that's top notch research and development right there.
That's right. That's right. We don't let the manufacturers have some type of enclosed environment where they do their own research. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's a good research, but we put it to the life test. But the cleaners that we have are very, very user friendly and very economical. And you got an issue with it, you just bring it back and get another one.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's kind of what you do. You don't have to go through the hassle of dealing with somebody on the phone or the internet. You just bring it in, we'll replace it.
Yeah.
And manufacturers that we use, they're all about eco-friendly. So Hayward manufacturer or Pentair manufacturer, Innova, all these guys are all about helping us, the brick and mortar, the dealer, making certain that we got the best product to offer to the consumer. And it just saves a lot of cost for the customer because we do the R&D for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't have to worry about kicking it. They're going to accidentally do that anyhow.
Right.
But we make certain that it'll hold up to that.
Yeah, which goes a long ways. Absolutely. Yeah. Talking about the cleaning aspect kind of made me think too of the filtration system, the circulation systems, and some people, are as they're upgrading or they're looking at new things or maintaining what they have, maybe I want like a quieter system, right? And are there newer things I can upgrade to regarding the filtration and the circulation that it might be a little more eco-friendly, might be a little quieter, is that kind of upgrade available?
Yes, it is, Dee. So we try to keep up with all the latest and the greatest technology in the industry. So whether it's the pump or the filter system for the pool, which is the heart and soul of the pool. Without that, unfortunately, you have a grain pool. We don't want that. So we try to try to get the best equipment out there. So a quieter pump. That's called a variable speed pump. The industry come out a few years back where that's a mandatory thing now. To use variable speed. The Department of Energy has kind of enforced this to the manufacturers that this is what you got to produce. And so you got complete pumps with variable speed. And that really saves energy, and the sound and it doesn't have near the noise like it used to. People have heard those motors screaming at night sometimes, and the neighbors like, what is that?
The dogs are going crazy.
They are.
Somebody called the police. It's a whole thing. It's just the pump. It's fine.
Right. The pump is not feeling well, and it's making a lot of noise, and it needs some help. So what we've done is that's a mandatory. So we made that standard.
Yeah.
So the variable speed now is there are other options for different pumps, and the manufacturers do make 2-speed pumps and things like that. However, we chose to go ahead and implement the variable speed pump in all of our in-ground pools. And that just really cuts costs down on the equipment of the energy. So as opposed to a regular pump, and we've done this. We got these units inside our store where you can look at a regular pump and then a variable speed pump. And if this is your home that you're going to be in for a while, it's your in-home or it's a home you're going to be there for at least 5 or 10 years, you will get your money back. It's a fact. I mean, you will absolutely get that energy back because of the cost you're saving.
Right.
But in the winter right now, you can just let that thing run on a very slow speed. You'll never even hear it, but it's moving the water. You have to worry about freeze, damage to your equipment, and then during the day it'll ramp up to a higher RPM, and it will take care of the pool and keep it crystal clear blue water.
Yeah, which is what we're looking
That's
for
right. That's right.
all the time, for sure.
For sure.
Just before we wrap up, want to talk a little bit too about what trends you might see coming in 2026 or maybe in the coming years with things that are more eco-friendly, that are going to be better for our environment, better on our, and sometimes even better on our budget because of, saving energy and things like that. Are you looking forward to anything?
Good. I mean, it's great timing with that question. We're actually getting ready to go to a trade show, and we're a member of a buying group called United Aqua Group, and we've been a member now pushing close to 20 years, and that is so. What it is all the and it's a nationwide, so all the dealers throughout the whole country kind of come together in one conference, and we network and we kind of talk to one another, share ideas and thoughts and suggestions about how was your year and what did you do different and what would you try next year to make improvements, whether it's a service, whether it's new installation for pools or retail, whether it's something to do with, something you put inside the store that might be new and neat for the backyard. So that's where we're getting ready to go. So to answer your question, I'll know more.
I'll
maybe
let
our
you
next
know.
show. Our next show. So we might not, but I've always keep an open mind about what's out there, and we share a lot of ideas with other dealers. That's probably where we get most of our ideas, and whether these shows, you can just get motivated and got a lot of information and you gather it all up and then you bring it back, and then what do you do? Well, what I do is I take leadership.
Yeah.
I take people that work with me, people that are in key positions. Instead of me trying to share all that, now they got the information that I have.
Yeah.
And now we can network together and come up with better ways to do things. And that's what it really boils down to. The trade show that we will be going to, it's basically all the manufacturers that we buy directly from will be there. And they will have their new products they're putting out for 2026. So whether it's a new cleaner, a new maintenance item like a vacuum head, vacuum hose, or a new pump, new filter, that's what we're there to look at. We do a lot of accessories that we try to, give customers an idea, because we started doing a lot of Sundecks with our in-ground pools.
Right.
And that tanning ledge Sundeck, it's it's really a neat thing. It's a ledge that's shallow, and kids and grandkids can play there, and you can put these chairs. We call them sun chairs or Sundeck chairs, tanning ledge chairs that you kind of recess into the water about 6 inches or so. But it's a way to cool off, a way to get sun and enjoy the outside. So these chairs are, so that's kind of new.
Yeah, it is.
We brought in
Yeah.
these chairs that are, you can put them on the deck or you can put them in the sun deck. But they making improvements with those, with tables and chairs and different things, umbrellas, all that. But
So you get to see all of that. That's awesome.
that's the biggest thing is
That's awesome.
accessorizing the pool.
I remember when you're talking about that sun deck where the pool chairs are right in just a tiny bit of water there, and great place for little kids to sort of sit and be in the water. I remember when you would only see that at a fancy hotel pool, right?
Yeah.
And it sort of for me came out of that where it was like, oh wait, we can have those in our pools now. We can build those custom in our backyard. How cool is that?
Exactly. We started doing that. I guess it's probably been about 10 years ago, and they were our higher end pools by working with the manufacturer. So that's considered a standard installation for us. So it's not like, it's different for a lot of customers. However, it's not an upcharge cost anymore. So it's like, no, that's cool, that's neat, and you can have that because that's what we do. That's how that's considered part of our installation. We're not going over and beyond and charging a lot more extra for that.
Right.
Because we've done so many of them now.
Right.
And we kind of incorporated that sun deck and the steps and all that to make it where people just enjoy the pool more when they're outside, and they can hang out and with family and friends. And, going back, me growing up and having a pool when we were younger, when my dad started the pool business, I couldn't understand some of the reasoning. I get it. Yep. In the pool business, we should have a pool. But we had a pretty good sized family. But the primary reason is to find out where his kids were at.
That's right.
He kept an eye. So I figured that out later on in life. Like, I understand
It's all
now.
making sense
That's
now.
right. I understand the reasoning that we're all in the backyard to keep an eye on us and
That's
knew where
right.
we were at most all the time. But no, that means you're safe. And
Yes.
your kids are not in trouble, and you just feel better about things.
Absolutely.
And ever how you want to explain that to your family is up to you. But you know what? When you put something in the backyard, above ground or in ground, doesn't matter what it is, it creates family, and it creates an environment where you find out that your neighbor, not sure who they were, but now you do know who they are because
Absolutely.
they come over.
Would
They
love
might
to
wanna
come
jump
over.
in.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
And friends that you didn't know you had, you do have now.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, before you know it, you got a whole village,
Yes.
and a
Yes.
whole family.
Heard you
But-
had a pool.
That's right.
Just stopping in.
That's right. That's correct. And we try to make it, that's what it's all about,
Yeah.
having fun in the backyard and knowing when your kids and the family's at. But
You got
we,
it.
we try to make it, hopefully when we get back from our trade show, we're going to be able to share more of that for our customers, and it's going to create more enjoyment for families. And that's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun to get some behind the scenes and some of those trends to hear about all that when you guys come back. And, anytime that you're interested in learning about things that are better for your family, better for the environment, better for your budgets, and just to make your backyard family fun a little bit easier, of course, you can stop by the Claxton or Savannah location of Pride Pools and check the links in the show notes of this episode to get all the details and find out where the locations are and what kind of anniversary specials might still be going on. But Alex, good to talk to you always, and
Absolutely.
we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Come by and meet your local pool and spa experts in Claxton on Highway 280 West or in Savannah on Gateway Boulevard South, or go to pridepools.com. If you love backyard family fun as much as we do, be sure to give us a rating and review and subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. And if you have a question or topic you'd love for us to cover, drop us an email, info@pridepools.com, or tap the links for Facebook or Instagram in the show notes of this episode. We'd love to hear from you. Now let's go make a splash and have some backyard family fun.